Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking sort of a look at my photographic year in review. It's sort of a title for this, I guess. Obviously this year, it's been what it has been with Corona and things like that, and I hope everyone has stayed as safe as they could. But photography wise, it's not been that great. Obviously client work completely stopped, and with restrictions and not being able to go out and take photos and things, I've been kind of limited, but I've managed to scrape 10 images that I'm overly happy with. With all that said, I feel like I've grown more as a photographer this year, even though I've been using my camera less, just because I've been researching it more and sort of refining my skills more in the little time I've actually been taking photos, and I've made the transition more from digital into film photography as well, which I've been enjoying quite a lot recently. With that said, there's only sort of one film image in this, as I've taken my digital camera on the trips, and sort of quite a lot of these images were taken before I started to shoot more film. But yeah, with that said, we're going to just be taking a look at all of these, my likes and dislikes, things that I'd change in hindsight, just talking about them basically. I'm going to be starting from the 16th of January, you can see that up here, going all the way to the 27th of November, so right up until November this year. December for me is a busy time. Working in retail, I'm not able to go out and take as photos as much as I'd like. So we've only got up until November, but I've not really taken anything since then, which I'd probably want in this video anyway. So with all of that said, let's actually finally start looking at some images. So here we have the first one. Now this is of Beth, someone I used to work with. She's now a singer and an actress. This was sort of paid work by her for sort of her music and things like that. The song was something to do with love, I think. I don't know, it was a while ago. Context behind this, she just stood in the shower. That is pretty much all that's going on. That's how we've got the water effect here, and the steam and things like that. The wet hair are all sort of elements of this image that I really like. It was sort of my first creative idea thing for portraits that I'd actually been paid for. So this is quite I'm quite happy with that, to say it was actually work. In hindsight, I've definitely cleaned the mirror. You can see up here, not the mirror, the glass is dirty from where the water's been on it previously, because it's a shower. But other than that, I'm really happy with it. The edit, I like how it's nice and soft because it's shot through glass. The necklace down here, I think it draws the eye well. Just the water and things speckled on there just add a really nice bit of texture to it as well. How she's sort of angled towards the camera is something I really like as well, with the light hitting her face. I think it all came together really nicely in this final image. Next up, wow, right, so this one, this is probably my favourite, right, this is up there in my top 3 portraits I've ever taken. Just happens to be the second photo in this video. This is of a friend, Alice, we're out at the Cow and Calf just doing some portraits basically, and it was windy, and I just managed to capture the wind blowing across her face like this, and yeah man, I don't know what it is about this, I just really enjoy looking at it. There's a lot of movement in there, the focus is a bit weird, it's more towards the right side of her head, where it's crystal clear over here, and then over here you can see it's more blurred. No idea if that's just a mistake from my part that ended up paying off. She's backlit, so the sun is behind her. It's sunset in January, I think, so sort of winter sun. That's why she's got this nice glow to her. The only thing I'd change about this is I'd sort out this section around here where her hair is just blowing everywhere. I'd heal that out just to clean it up a little bit, make it look a little bit neater. From the actual raw file, this is cropped in so much as well. She was wearing like a North Face puffer jacket, like well over branded, just covered in North Face logos, and I did not want that in the image, so we got rid of that. That's why it's cropped in, but I think it's worked well overall. And the more I'm looking at this now, the more I think I might actually repost it on Instagram again, because it's probably one of my highlight shots of the year. So shout out to Alice, and thanks for being the model in this one, because it's probably one of my favourite shots of the year. Okay. So next we have this one of Selena in the Lake District. She's just stood on a pile of rocks. I've shot it from quite low down to give sort of a distinctive gap between the foreground and the background. She's not actually stood on the edge of a cliff or anything like that. I think it was like maybe a foot drop down the other side, but it was just onto a grassy hill, so there's no danger in there at all. Just a low angle giving that effect. And the light on that strap there, man, that makes the image for me. If that light wasn't hitting that strap, I don't think I would like it. The strap would just disappear, and then the fact that she was holding a camera just wouldn't become a main part of the image. I think the light draws your eye to the strap, which then draws your eye up to the camera that she's holding. The only thing I don't like about this image is the fact that she's got no hand. She was wearing my oversized like jacket, which on me is massive, so on her it's like a duvet, and her whole arm was a little relaxed, and yeah, it just made it look like she got no hand, which kind of makes me not like the image. And the more I look at it, the more I don't like it because of that. But everything else, like the composition, the framing of the sort of the rocky outcrop, getting that nice and centre with the background and the hills, and like the scale of it all, is something I really like with this one. Okay, moving on. We're in April now. You can see these at the top of the screen there. This is well into lockdown now. Selena did lockdown with me, and this image was taken on some like frosted glass in her kitchen, which gave it quite a nice like horror vibe. I talked about using this glass for quite a while, and then lockdown came, boredom hit, and we just felt like we needed to shoot something, so this happened. I've healed quite a lot out of this image. When I'm looking at it, it was quite a dirty glass window, so that's what I've healed out. Just the marks and the scuffs, things like that. I love her hands on the glass, and the fact that you can still tell it's a face behind there. My only dislike with this is honestly just the bottom here. You can tell that her legs are there, and she's sort of knelt down behind the mirror, behind the glass. Ideally I didn't want that, but just because of where the window is, it's kind of on the floor outside, so you need to be knelt down to get in this position. But yeah, that's sort of the only thing I don't like about it. I can't crop it in either, because then it kind of loses its effect. Moving on. Alright, so this, I've actually entered this into like a few competitions this year. This is up there with my favourite images of the year and ever. It's of Jordan, upside down. Jordan is someone I know through like parkour and freerunning. He's actually a tricker and he's insanely good. So this is just him upside down. We're actually showing off his new shoes in this image, believe it or not the fact that he's upside down. When we were shooting it, the focus was his shoes. He wanted a nice picture of his shoes upside down, so we managed to get this. This location is, if you live in Leeds or you shoot in Leeds, you'll know exactly where this is. It's one of the more overshot spots in Leeds, and I feel like this is kind of a nice new image for it. So it's, yeah, literally everyone shoots there. I kind of try and avoid there now because the likelihood of you bumping into someone when you are there is quite high. So location wise, quite like it. I like the angle from low down. The fact that his leg is so straight and just lines up with the wall and the edge of the building is perfect. Obviously it's nice and sharp, say his movement as well. My only dislike is just the colour on the wall down here, which is something that I could probably just edit in hindsight. But yeah, I do really like this, especially the reflection on the glass there. Just adds a bit more depth to an image, and something else for the eyes to look at, which is quite nice. Okay, next up we have this one. Now as far as landscapes go, this is my favourite, probably, ever. It is a landscape shot, even though it is portrait in its cropping. But I think if I'd cropped this actually landscape, I don't think it would work that well. I love the leading lines of the fence here running down to the shed, and the shed itself. I'm a sucker for a corrugated shed like this. I think the texture and the colour that they can add to an image, as well as the shadows that you get on them in like bright sunlight like this, just work really well. Yeah, in hindsight, then telegraph poles would be gone now if I re-edited it, just to not have something distracting you like that. But yeah, man, I do really like this image, I'm not gonna lie. That is a sick photograph. I'm just gonna say it. That slaps. Right, moving on. That was actually taken in Skye as well, near the Airbnb. This next one is also from Skye. Well, not even on Skye, it's near Loch Ness, this waterfall. It's a classic travel photo. So these raincoat pictures, you can see them a lot on Instagram. It's kind of a trend, so I kind of jumped on the bandwagon with this. We've got Selena down here at the bottom, and obviously the waterfall. It really helps show the scale of the fall itself. It's probably the biggest one I've seen in the UK. It might even be... Nah, I don't want to say that because I could be wrong. But it could be one of the biggest waterfalls in the UK. I really like how I managed to get a bit of the movement in with the fall here. Now, long exposures, if you've got a model posing like Selena is here, you don't want them to be posing for too long because they'll go blurry. And obviously I didn't want the water to just be like a ribbon, so I kind of like the motion there. The only dislike on this is this section here, which is just so bright. The sun was hitting there hard. Obviously in hindsight I could darken that down in the edit, but then I'd have felt like it was too dark. I don't know. There's just something about this, I think that is here, but I don't like. Maybe if I cropped it in. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd have to spend more time looking at that to figure out what the crack is, to make it look a little bit better. Oh man, right. So now we've jumped to, where are we? The 19th of October we are in now. This is actually from a paid commercial shoot I did for a brand called Goose and Gander. I've worked with them for a few years now, I've done a few shoots for them. And this is from the most recent one. It was sort of like an outdoorsy, like autumn hiking theme. We've got Matt here, stood with the bag on. Everything he's wearing in this photo is from the brand, so it kind of works quite well. Got the classic Yorkshire location. And this is the only one of these photos here that I'm showing you today which is shot on film. It's medium format, 6x6 negative. I think I shot it on Portra 400. You can actually see there's a bit of a film line. I don't know what it's called. It's not a light leak because this is from where the negative has been bent, and you can tell this negative's been bent and it's just the scanning. So I could easily heal that out. I'd also heal out these guys over here in hindsight just to clean it up a little bit. But yeah, obviously I'm shooting more film now. I've recently invested in like this Mamiya, and I'm overly impressed with the look and sort of the quality you can actually get from film. I'm definitely transitioning more to shooting film to digital, or aiming to anyway, in the future. I just love how he's in the centre, how he's not looking just straight, he's looking to the side, and just the bag stands out nice and well, which is good because it is a product shot at the end of the day. And also you got the location in the background as well with the bridge. It all kind of ties in together nicely. It gives the viewer actually things to look at whilst not being too distracting from the bag itself. Okay, next one. Automotive shot, car shot. I don't shoot cars for work. Stevie, I tag along with his shoots sometimes when he's like shooting the minis and things. I enjoy shooting cars, but it's not something I actively seek out to do. But this one, this is just a kind of candid shot. I don't know whose car this is. You can see the owner is actually sat in there on the phone. They had the hazards on because I think they were parked in a bus stop. This is outside the Victoria Centre. So the wall is quite a nice backdrop, I thought, and just the positioning of the car. There was no like other distractions. It just works quite well, and I actually feel like this is kind of quite a professional looking car shot, if I'm being honest. They had the hazards on, so you can see I managed to capture them there. You can even see where I've painted them to make them brighter, which is kind of shocking. That I can't believe I just zoomed in on that. But yeah, we'll just brush past that, ignore it. If you know me, I don't actually have Photoshop, so that's just a Lightroom jobby. We can ignore that though. I took a few more images of this car from different angles while they were sat there, and I was happy with them all actually. I think they're on my portfolio online. So yeah, man, I just think it looks nice and clean, and I could see them using it as well, which is sort of a bonus. With this, I painted a lot of the lighting. So obviously we've just seen my horrific painting on the hazard lights, but there's also up there as well, you can see. But we'll try and ignore that up there. Then we have this one. Now this is the last photograph that we're going to go through today, just because I don't want this video to be awfully long. This is of Highland cow. Now I'm obsessed. It's not the I do like my Highland cows photographically, and just I think they're my favourite animal. This is one from the Dales. Some herds that I've put effort into finding. I won't ever tell anyone where these are either, because I put a lot of effort into finding out where these were, and a lot of mileage driving around the Dales to find them. And I don't want them to become like a photographic like Instagram spot like the ones at the Yorkshire Sculpture Park have become, because I just kind of feel sorry for them. People just treat it like a zoo. So I'm not going to tell you where this is exactly, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. Image wise, the light was sunset. Again, it's the winter sun, which the winter sunsets for me are perfect, especially here in the UK. They last long, the light's nice and soft. I'm filming now at sort of sunset time too, so yeah, it might just be my thing, I don't know. I do feel like quite a lot of photographers shoot at this time, especially in the UK, more in the winter because it's just not as harsh light. Back to the image though, I love the sharpness of it. Now, this is where my editing is going to look shockingly bad, but look at that, right? Look at the fringing here on the horn. Now, I edited this on my MacBook, and I've recently just got this iPad. And obviously on a MacBook, it's a 2015 model, so the screen is basically just not high quality really, and there's no fringing when I look at it on there. But when I zoom in on the iPad here, fringing through the roof, so that is something I'm going to have to pay attention to in the future, especially when looking at images like this. Now, no one would ever zoom in like that on this other than me, but me knowing it's there is enough for me to want to change it. The colours in this I really enjoy. I've already healed this image quite a lot now. Through this year, something I've wanted to start to focus on more is cleaning images up a little bit more. So this I've already cleaned up. Before there was like, I think there's some rubbish in the grass, things like that. There was a car over there that I've taken out just to stop your eye going anywhere but where I want it to. I've learned a lot more about photography and how to draw people's eyes around an image this year, so healing images has become quite a big thing, and I've done that with this one. This is my lock screen. I've posted it, promoted it, probably will post it again. Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite images of the year, and it's a good one to end on, to say it was taken literally last month. We're going to be bringing this video to an end now as well. As you can see sort of as a whole here, we got a mixed portrait, landscape. I do like taking portraits and pictures with people in them, especially landscapes with people in them, just for scale. I think this is sort of a good, well-rounded example of my work this year. Apart from the fact there's no really film images in this, I do think this shows me off quite well, and it also shows a little bit of growth through my images and things like that. Anyway, I am actually going to stop speaking now because I've just looked at the thing there, and this video is now nearly 23 minutes long. So if you managed to sit through this, thank you. Don't know how you've done it. I don't know how I've done it. I hope you like these images. If you want to ask me any questions about editing and things like that, I do have a video about how I edit images, which is a little bit outdated now, so I'm probably going to make a new one soon. If you want to see these images or the rest of the images I've taken this year, you can head over to my Instagram as well, which will be in the link in the bio. But yeah, with all that said, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.